Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be talking about why I think Loom is the worst upgrade in Age of Empires 2. Loom is an upgrade that's available from the Dark Age. It costs 25 seconds to make and 50 gold. It's available from the town center, and the reason I mentioned the time it takes is because it actually happens to be the same exact time that it takes to make a single villager. Now normally upgrade timing really only matters because you'd want to get your upgrades pretty fast so that they're effective faster, which means that you're benefiting from them longer. But an upgrade from the town center is a little bit special. It actually sets you behind the longer it takes to research, because if you didn't get that upgrade, you'd actually be training villagers from that town center, which is the key part of your economy and how to develop your base in a lot of cases.
Oh hey Phil, what's up?
Not much, my man. Just waiting for the new guy. We need more lumberjacks. Wait, where's the new guy? And what is this I'm wearing?
Wow, I love my new outfit.
Why are we all wearing this thing?
It makes us stronger against wild animals.
How does a new shirt make you stronger?
It just does.
Now a lot of people might not realize how expensive Loom is or how harsh it is on your development, especially in the early game, but let's consider this. If you start the game and you delete a villager, we consider that a really bad disadvantage. However, a lot of people fall into this disadvantage purposely by picking up Loom from the start of the game or even before their first spoiler, which is just such a big mistake. Loom, like I said, costs 25 seconds, the same as a villager. So they both cost the same amount of resources, 50 gold versus 50 food, and take the same amount of time. Therefore, if you pick up Loom, you're essentially down one villager right then and there. Your opponent didn't interact with you, you didn't make any mistake, you just simply picked up an upgrade that doesn't pay back for itself at all. It doesn't bring you more resources, it only brings you a little bit of safety in added HP to your villagers. It gives 15 extra HP, 1 melee armor, and 2 pierce armor for all your villagers. But like I said, this doesn't actually bring back more resources, which is a key concept in RTS games and especially AoE2 when it comes to developing quickly and actually hitting the right timings. You might think I'm over exaggerating and that one villager won't make a huge difference, but if you've ever watched a pro game or even competed at a high level in Age of Empires 2, you'd realize that oftentimes one villager makes or breaks a game. Think of it this way. If you do a scout rush and you invest 3 scouts to try to pick off a villager, if you get one villager with those 3 scouts, oftentimes players would say that's very worth it because you invest 80 food times 3 for the 3 scouts, and if you pick up a villager, yeah, that villager only costed 50 food, but over time that villager would gather way more than the 240 resources you spent for those 3 scouts. So we try to kill our opponent's villagers because we recognize that the gather rate for villagers is infinite. So if we set ourselves behind from the start on purpose by just simply picking up Loom, we're down a villager that's down several hundred resources over the course of the early game. And that can make the difference between a faster castle age time or a slower castle age time. And yeah, the added bonuses, like the pros of having Loom, which is like a little bit of safety so you don't die to the boar when you're trying to lure it in, you don't die to your opponent's initial scout, early rushes like a drush won't be as scary, militia, men-at-arms, etc. But if you think about the cons, down one villager from the start, regardless of the situation, doesn't pay back for itself, and oftentimes you won't be in any danger and therefore Loom would be completely wasted, and it does cost the upright 50 gold. If you consider a pro game on Arena, oftentimes players would completely skip Loom because they recognize that they don't need that added safety and the stone walls that they have set up are going to be more than enough.
I can't believe you've done this.
So they take that extra villager and use that timing, or that extra resources, to hit better timings, I should say. That allows them to pick up the relics, or to at least be able to contest the relics. It lets them go for a push, or maybe it just gets them a much quicker boom that lets them get like faster town centers and stuff. As you guys all know, leads in AoE2 snowball really fast. What starts off as one villager in Dark Age ends up to a faster town center in Castle Age, which gets you an extra 2 villagers, which gets you a better army and lets you win the early fights. Obviously, this is a simplified version of the game that I'm presenting, but it essentially works like that, and sometimes getting that early lead by simply skipping out Loom can make or break a game and can really surprise your opponent because they won't even realize why you have that advantage. Now, I'm not saying you want to skip Loom in every single one of your games, because there's obviously a lot of things that can go wrong over like 100 games. If you skip Loom every time, it's going to be very tough to not make any mistakes with only 25 HP villagers. What I am saying though is that make sure you're delaying Loom as much as possible. Get out of the habit of picking up Loom early just so you feel safe. Take the risk of luring the boar without having Loom because it really does give a lot of benefit to your early game economy and to your builders because those resources do add up and they do matter, and it's not just a personal preference thing. So make sure you're delaying Loom as much as possible. If you have any bad habit of picking it up early just in case, please break out of that and live a little bit more adventurously when you're playing Age of Empires 2. It really will benefit your builders, and you're going to notice a pretty significant difference for your early game. I'll end this video by saying, while I do think it's a good idea to pick up Loom in open maps like Arabia right before you click up to the Feudal Age, consider skipping it from time to time and waiting until early Feudal Age, because you'll be surprised as to how often the early game comes and goes and there's literally no threat towards your economy. And so whether you have Loom or not makes absolutely no difference, and sometimes having that extra villager can be really, really good for you to hit those important timings. Make sure, of course, that you're not doing this every game, because it starts to get pretty predictable and your opponent can easily punish it if he notices. But oftentimes players will take it for granted that you have Loom, so skipping it from time to time can be a cheeky move to get ahead one villager from your opponent, which, as we've established, is a massive advantage. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and this kind of style of video. I'm dedicated to making better content for both Age of Empires 2 and Age of Empires 4, and I'm straying away from the typical gameplay videos. So if you guys any kind of topics you want me to cover, or builders to make, or interesting videos you'd like to see from either game, definitely let me know in the comments below. I'd be very excited to make them. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.